It is Memorial Day weekend, Saturday. So now I think we are going whole hog and finishing all the planting of everything I can put in. So right now I'm actually starting with replanting some cucumbers. I put these in, and then the next day I went to put in beans, and I meant to put them on this side, and I started putting them on this side. So then I realized, oh shoot, I already put cucumbers in here. So I dug up the beans, but I did not run into any cucumber seeds when I did that. So I was kind of waiting, and nothing's come up. So I thought, I got a few seeds left, I'll throw them in. But you know what? As I'm looking here, and I don't know if you can see, right there and right there, they might be just germinating now. So I might have some extra cucumbers after all, but that's all right. We can get rid of thin them out when we need to. So doing that first. I've got we stopped at Runnings. So I got to get a bunch of plants out of the car that I didn't really intend to buy that many starts, but I needed some 6-packs for like some baskets and stuff. And pumpkins, I really need to get the pumpkins in. So that's kind of the plan for today. It's really windy, but we'll do our best, see what we can get done. I did end up chopping back some of these sorrel. Oops. Weed in here, very haphazardly. You can see there, they were starting to bolt, and this is the second year, so they're well established. So I think I can just kind of chop them down, and they'll come back when the weather's a little bit cooler. So that's kind of an experiment for that. But look at all this lettuce. This is crazy. And I was thinking, I think it's all pretty much the same. It's either Little Gem or Buttercrisp, I think, are the two varieties I usually plant. But I'll probably have to start picking that pretty soon also. I have not seen any sign of my zucchini yet, but I'm dealing with some older seeds, so I might end up having to replant eventually. I could maybe oh wait, speaking too soon. See, it just takes more time than I am willing to give them, I guess. And I think I see one under here too. Yep, there we go. All right, never mind. I think the name of the game is going to be patience here, because I was getting worried that my carrots weren't coming up. And now, if you can see out of my shadow here, there is carrots. At least as far as here, a couple there. It's a little shadier over here because of this ridiculous thing. But they're working on it. I think these are ash. I don't know if I have an ash tree back there where I'm storing all the compost. I should look, but this stuff is all over anything I put compost in. Easy to pull out, but still. And then I've got radishes over here coming in, sort of sparse. Sunflowers everywhere. So last year I had volunteer amaranth everywhere. That whole bed was pretty much filled with it. And I had volunteer sunflowers along, so I plant sunflowers in the last row, kind of like a wall. So I ended up having a lot of volunteers just over the paper or the plastic into the rocks, and I left them because why not? This year my volunteers are all coming up through the thing, but look at this, all of this. This is all sunflowers. So I'm gonna have to pull them out because I don't need this situation happening. I also have to get something to chop that down, and there's one on the other side too. I like volunteers, but I'm trying to be a little more judicious about them. I was gonna pull this thing out. I kind of put it off, and now it's gonna have flowers. It's a hollyhock. It's gonna shade this whole bed. I think it'll be all right because it'll still be getting full sun for most of the day, but this is probably, not kosher, but we're gonna leave it, whatever. But yeah, so I think it's turning out. I just need to be a little more patient about things. What did I put in here? I think this is onions. Onions. I don't see any yet in these 2 rows. This is my original row over here, and it looks like I'm starting to get some all weeds. Oh, of course, that need to be picked out. And then these were some just ones I had saved, and they sprouted, so I threw them in the ground to see what we could get out of that. There's actually quite a few down there of seeds. So far, everything that's been planted is making something of an appearance. And there's a little painted lady. Oh, and a monarch. We're getting there. I think I need more early blooming perennials in here. I had my daffodils and things, but there's a little bit of gap between daffodils and then the bachelor buttons, and then there's a pretty big gap between bachelor buttons and everything else. So I'm not sure what I will do about that, but if you have any suggestions for a good early spring, early summer bloom, native preferably, I would take it. So this is what we ended up with just at Roneen's. I got a couple of things of strawberries so we can attempt to get some strawberries in. They also had, this is supposed to be 10. I'm guessing they're just bare root crowns. So maybe we can get strawberries going. I don't know what my deal is with strawberries. I'll look at that. The kids picked out the lamb's ear. I've got some impatiens for the hanging baskets that I put up in there. I have a few pots and things that are out in the sun, so the kids picked out some of the salvia and the New Guinea impatiens, and then I got a couple of the dahlias for another pot that I have, and the celosia. I don't really even know where that's going to go. Maybe one of those pots, I think. And of course, a random succulent. I don't know if this is I haven't looked at this to see. Hercules. We'll see. We'll probably, if I can convince them to put that back in the fairy garden, because I don't really want it in a pot in the house. But that's what we ended up with, just, more than I came for, but I'm sure we'll find a place for them. So the plan is hopefully to get some of this in, but we'll see. That sun is really hot today, even though it's kind of overcast, but maybe it's because I'm wearing a dark shirt. And I'm kind of not looking forward to planting my pumpkin seeds, because there's a lot of weeds out there that I have to deal with. Yuck. I don't know. We'll see. I've got 2 extra days. Well, I've got today, rest of today, some of tomorrow, and Monday. I don't think we're supposed to get rain, though it looks like it could spring up anytime. I don't know. We'll see. I also have this sad flat of just a few things, but some of the loofahs. But check out the roots on the loofahs. That's all loofah roots. All right, look at this root. And that's not even all of it. I eventually had to break it just to get it out of there. While I'm back in the greenhouse, it threatened to storm and rain, so we took a break for lunch and didn't do a whole lot more, but I just came out and potted up a few things. So a couple of things kids picked out were some impatiens, and those will go in the north side of the house. And I do have a couple of things from the other day left over. Portulacaria, that is full sun, so I'm not sure. I just potted up these out here. They're pretty crowded though. This one's got some spider flower coming up, so I'm going to leave that. That's why it's kind of lopsided. There's the spider flower, but just some salvia and some celosia that the kids liked, so I just thought I'd throw those in there. And I threw the dahlias in here, and I think that might be calendula, so I'm leaving it. So those are lopsided. If it's not, I could put that Portulacaria in there instead. Also I have a hanging basket, the sun patient, for the hook, so it could go in with those. So I do have a couple options. I tried to yank out some more of the rudbeckia. I think I might just kind of see what comes up and pull it out accordingly. Like this is a cone flower, and it was like drowned by all these things last year, so I'm glad to see it coming back. I've got hyssop in here, and this is I think just a garden mum, and I had something else there, but that doesn't seem to be coming back. And there's a few things here and there. We'll see if they come up. I put the zinnias too, so I'll just keep yanking until everything's got enough room, I guess. What else did I put in? Oh, I put the, what did I do? I put the words are escaping me. The loofah, yeah. So you saw the long, crazy roots, but I threw those in here. They look so sad right now. I should fertilize them. So I've got a few. I also had planted some more bottle gourd seeds in here. I hope I didn't just plant those on top of it. I guess we'll find out. And the lamb's ears, we threw in the corners over here. At least Violet wants them in her own garden, so I don't know if we'll get another bed for her and eventually move some, but I was able to kind of split them up. And then my lupine, which I don't know, they might not be too happy in a container, but we'll see. There was something else I thought I put out here. Maybe that was it. I did put the thyme in, or the rosemary, sorry. I put the rosemary in with the other herbs. This one's getting wild. This is mostly calendula and a few other things. Like it's a blanket flower. I don't know what this is. The internet says it's a primrose. I did not plant it, so I don't think. I'll have to look, but so I'm guessing that's just a weed. And yeah. And then over here, since we had that, so I did the seed trial last year, and it was, one of the things was the cleome, the spider flower, and I could, out of the 6, I only got 1 to go anywhere. Well, now it's really going. So I've got all these volunteers. I probably should pull a few of these, thin it out a little bit, maybe, because we probably don't need quite so many in here. Some of these little ones. Same with that pot. So I did end up having multiples of the one variety. I hate pulling out volunteers. I feel like they're so strong. They should just keep going. This is a weed. This is a weed. This is a weed. This is a weed. Okay. So that is where we're at for now. I have not tackled the pumpkin patch yet because it's a bit daunting. Look at all these sunflowers and whatever these are, which I hate them. They're like vines. I kind of hate pulling up these sunflowers, but it was sort of a nightmare last year, so I'm gonna have to do it. But I did get my popsicle sticks, so I think in general I'll just like make a little hole and plant the seed and then mark it so I know where it is. Sorry, I have a helper. This guy. And maybe just weed as I go, weed around it as I go. And here's the question. So there's cosmos, and then there's a weed that looks just like the leaves. So is that what this is? I don't know. It's always something. The good thing about all this mulch in here is the weeds pull out super easy because their roots are not very deep. But yeah, I think that's maybe where we're gonna end for today. It didn't rain, still kind of hoping it will a little bit. And maybe we'll do a little more tomorrow.